This is Wandering Winder, Winder, covering a match now between Jake, the Zipper, and Chris is me. Going for some renaissance, heavy renaissance in the card pool. I don't know what the rules are for including how or which cards. Do do do. They just started, so I'm not doing serious analysis yet. But I do note that you can get extra money in the night phase thanks to the interaction between priest and exorcist, although that's not at all useful to you. Ooh, ooh. There isn't much in the way of draw here. You can get villagers from lackeys and sculptor, and you can use them to make your lackeys into draw. You can also get stuff off of exorcist. So probably you will want exorcist for the draw at some point. Wisps cost 0, so you can still exercise shelters for wisps, so that's not a big deal. Prince also can be draw. Prince lackeys is really the only good target for Prince, I think. Canal lets Armory get 5s. Lets Sculptor get 5s also. I a little bit wonder about being able to play some kind of money thing here. Groundskeeper is the big reason why maybe you can't. If Groundskeeper weren't here, then I definitely wouldn't be trying to put together a lot of draw. I would just be saying, okay, we're going to do something with Treasure, maybe Canal, Relic Sculptor, but we're going to do something with Treasure to try to just power through provinces. Because there is Groundskeeper here, I would at least have to consider a bit more how possible is it to pile the groundskeepers and then be able to get enough green cards, and then you can even retrash those green cards, right? Ironworks gives you extra gains, kind of, for more green cards, so yeah. Did someone have 5 and open? That seems wrong. Yeah, I think Sam is right. Treasurer should be a better card than Priest, I think, to open with. Yeah, you can't treasure your, or you can't trash your things, and by things I mean your whatchamacallits, and by whatchamacallits I mean, oh, I guess, so Wisps and Imp and Ghost are the best draw, although lackeys can sometimes do it, and Prince can too, but what I'm trying to say, Ironworks can get Groundskeepers once you have Canal. But anyway, yes, no, Treasure, like, just the extra money, I think, is better soon enough, and you can always clean up the other stuff later with Exorcist or Priest. Yeah, Warfrat's suggestion is also somewhat interesting, although I think I like the initial economy of Treasure a little bit better. Although I guess I'm not exactly sure what you're needing the economy for, so maybe it's fine to get the Sculptor. I don't know. Getting back to the actual game, they're saying that Jake seems way ahead, and yeah, I'm not sure. Mostly because I haven't been paying close enough attention. They're probably right. This should be a Canal back, I think. Guess it could be. Can I not do math? This is for money and not for. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I can't do math back. Great. They're both kind of going in on some lackeys. I guess Chris has a lot of lackeys, and Jake has what? Chris has 4 and Jake has 2? That's what it looks like to me. This is a lot of ironworks they're gaining, and the lackeys are getting low, so they will have to watch for pileouts. I'm a little bit confused as to why you would continue to gain ironworks there. You could have ironworks to groundskeeper, right? with Canal. I don't know if he missed that or he really wants more Ironworks, but it seems a little bit odd to me. Now I have to look up the wording on Hovel. I'm pretty sure it's buy a victory card, not gain one, right? Yeah, buy. So, okay, so there we get this play, and Jake, well, he finishes off his villagers here, so he probably is going to be gaining a lackeys with an Ironworks here. Um, could also think about Sculptor. Sculptor gaining Relic is kind of nice to give you a villager. In some cases, makes it non-terminal, at least. Um, and Relic is a fine card to have because hurting your opponent's draw is pretty good. Pretty good, pretty good. First Relic especially. Later Relics, because they don't that attack doesn't stack, obviously less good. But yeah, Jake does seem ahead. Um, I think he has significantly more groundskeepers. There is some concerns about pile control at this point, so we should keep an eye on that. But I think he's ahead on groundskeepers. He should gain the lackeys there. He doesn't. Okay. Then I assume he's probably going to buy lackeys here. I wonder if he forgot. Okay, so the lackeys are gone, and there aren't very many groundskeepers left, and there aren't very many ironworks left. Jake has the benefit of having the canal, which is pretty big, mostly just because it lets him ironworks groundskeepers. So Chris's me is lacking the pile control to be able to threaten ending the game here. And in combination with his being lower on groundskeepers, I think that gives Jake a significant advantage. Um, yeah, like these ironworks in Chris's hand uh, do appear to me basically to be rotting at this moment, um, because it's extremely dangerous for him to say gain all the rest of the ironworks, and since he doesn't have canal yet, um, actually gaining groundskeepers is not possible. So this seems like a prudent course of action, and he can gain his canal now. Yeah, and so now this, um, because Chris's me has a number of. Now, if he takes, I would seriously consider taking a copper here to be able to province. Um, and that's what he's going to do because he feels the threat of the game ending. And so that's going to make it a lot harder for Chris to pile this turn. Um, so I think that was a good play to get the province because otherwise Chris has three ironworks maybe because he just trashed one. I can't remember whether he has three or four. If he had four, he would be threatening a pile. If he only has three, then he obviously wouldn't be. Um, as it is, it's going to be tough now because he can't start in on that path very easily. Um, so the province was good, and it kind of locks out a lot of uh, Chris's best options. I think he probably needs to ironworks a groundskeeper anyway here. Um, and his villagers are going to keep dwindling, and that's going to be problematic for him. Wow, he ironworks a duchy. So, and he continues to trash coppers instead of lackeys, which seems very suspect to me, given the large number of terminals he has and the small number of villagers he has left. Excuse me. Jake can get groundskeepers here. I don't know. That may not be safe at all. Probably isn't. He might just play the lackeys here and use his last villager. Well, let's see. He's gonna have to ironworks something. Guess he doesn't have to, but Maybe he can Ironworks a groundskeeper, Ironworks a duchy. I don't know what his last card is. That's kind of important. If it's enough money to get to a duchy, um, with the priest play, say, so it would need to be worth 2 money, um, then like gaining multiple duchies here looks kind of appealing. If it's any money at all, then okay, it's not. And he should buy an estate here, obviously. He gets to trash that, which makes him money, which doesn't help. But now he has 18 points, and his groundskeeper lead will probably be pretty good for him, but he's out of villagers, so that's not the best. Only one groundskeeper in play here for Chris's me at that point meant that taking duchies, say, was not as appealing. Again, these ironworks start to look really, really bad when you run out of villagers, which is what's happening now. Chris can probably ironworks a duchy here. He's going to need to do that. That'll score him 5 points. And then, depending on what he draws, priest one of his actions. Potentially ironworksing an action in between. But priest one of his actions, and then he'll have enough to buy province, and that'll put him up by, well, he'd score 8 and 5, 13, and he's down by 7 now. He'd be up by 6 as we get into a really interesting part of the game. He should, I guess, be looking for pile out potential, but it's very unlikely, I think, that he can actually pile out. He'd need to gain Ironworks, Groundskeeper, draw 2 more Ironworks, and I don't even think he has that many left, to gain 2 things and then still be able to score enough. So yeah, this play makes sense. Wow, I don't like that. I would have gained a sculptor or something with the second ironworks and then priest lackeys, or just priest the ironworks and buy a province rather than gaining a duchy and buying a duchy. I don't know. This does give him more of a lead, I guess. Jake should probably just grab a ironworks a green card here. The question is which one. So duchy is the natural thing to get, obviously, but it doesn't give him a lead and gives some potential for piling out to Chris. Although it's not great because we know that Chris has just seen multiple of his ironworks. So I think it's relatively safe to take the duchy here. Taking the estate, I think, is playing too safe, and it's playing to not lose immediately as opposed to actually playing to win. So he should take a duchy. He takes a sculptor, which is fine, right? Do that first, that's fine. And then take a duchy here. Really hope you draw some kind of treasure. And he doesn't draw a treasure, which is unfortunate for him. Gosh, the key. How good would the key look in these decks? Wow. So Chris, that's interesting. 5, 6. Jake cannot get to province here, and taking duchy is so bad. I think he should take the key here, because he's going to need to province. He should take the key and buy an estate. The reason I say buy estate is that it makes it harder for Chris to end the game. I guess maybe he's behind enough that he should take the duchy. I don't know. That's tough though, because it makes it real easy for Chris to end it. Okay, so this is looking actually okay for Jake now. No, maybe it's not, because this is a trashed lackeys and the bot duchy. So this is 2 groundskeepers. And then this has got to be 2 estates. Yeah, perhaps they conserve their villages wrong. At least this estate, it's nice, and there's just no option here. The nice thing about that estate is now Chris can't end it. He actually has to score points. And so if he takes estate here, now Jake with an ironworks can win the game. Or this works. Sculptor, so he sculpts estate and then he buys estate, and that's game over. It looks like he doesn't see it. Actually, he can also take groundskeeper and estate. That should win. What? Jake, no! Oh, he could have sculpted groundskeeper and bought estate, and that was a win. He could have sculpted estate and bought an estate, and that was a win. And he forgot about the key, I guess. He must have forgotten about the key. Jake, no! He's still gonna win here, obviously. That's why you take the key. That's why you take the key. Also, if he's going to sculpt something, he should sculpt a relic. So he's also forgotten about Canal. Jake, no! Yeah, there's nothing Chris can do here. He can't take estate. He can't take groundskeeper. And he knows that Jake has the key. So he actually knows that Jake has a forced win on his next turn, and there's nothing he can do about it. So it's just a matter of time for him to check and make sure that he's not missing anything and either resign or just decide to end it. Again, that could have been ironworksing a relic rather than a silver. Would have just been better. Oh well. Hey, we got there. Game over. Hooray. Jake, no! And that actually just really goes to show you the power of the groundskeepers as he has, if you look at Jake's deck, he has, actually he doesn't have any fewer green cards, but he has worse green cards, right? 6 estates, 2 duchies versus 2 estates, 6 duchies, but so many more VP tokens that it's actually still winning the game for him. Okay, here the only villages are Golem, which is interesting with Patron, I guess, and Acting Troupe. Now there's Draw with Seer, Old Witch, Swashbuckler, Council Room. There's Grand Market. There's Capitalism. Ooh. Capitalism. Wow. That seems pretty good. Well, it seems okay at least. The problem with capitalism is that it's not Seer. So yeah, I don't know. I would open Patron, and I guess you could go with Vagrant, or you could go with Silver. And eventually you're going to pick up a couple Grand Markets, but you're going to get a lot of Seers and Patrons. Obviously there's also Fleet, which you want to get at some point, but you're not in a rush for. My gut is to try to keep it relatively simple and basically go Seer, Patron, maybe Vagrant. Vagrant goes pretty well in the Seer Patron deck. I probably get 1 silver to start off with before switching to Vagrants. Without copper trashing, so Old Witch is a thing, and you got to think about that. But I think you can get one, and I certainly wouldn't get more than one. I'm pretty sure that I would go kind of patron silver into getting vagrants and one Old Witch and then a lot of seers and then get fleet at the right moment. Well, you're not triggering patron multiple times because the first time you reveal it, you draw it with your seer. But, whatever. Chris gets to Grand Market already. I think I would take a seer here. I'm not really sold on Golem. It's just kind of hard to get around to. So I don't like the second Old Witch because it's just not going to give that many curses and then it's going to start trashing them. Plus it's an extra terminal. So I'm not super high on it. Looks like Jake got an acting troupe at some point, which I'm also not. Ugh. Swashbuckler is interesting. It will get you coffers reasonably often, so maybe you get one at some point, but I would still want Sears first. So we're going to get to see this stuff get played as treasures. And this is probably another Grand Market, and I think you might as well take a Vagrant. Yeah. And we'll see what Jake does here. I think probably the main things you would consider would be capitalism or seer. Yeah, you do want to play them as actions when you can. Um, and this is going to be Grand Market and another Vagrant, I guess. Jake gets a Swashbuckler. I'm really confused as to the lack of seers. Um, I mean, it's probably fine. Capitalism doesn't seem that great to me here. They both have so many villagers. I mean, I guess the reason Chris has the villagers is from capitalism, so let's give it some credit there. But this also seems like a weird order. Don't you want to play your Vagrant? He must have played the Grand Market as a treasure rather than an action, but Seer! Still no Seers. Okay. Well, not a big fan of this play. Let's see if Chris triggers this shuffle. I think he should. The one Swashbuckler isn't that big of a deal. And you mostly want to get that money from your GM, I think. Extra grand markets are, I mean, a couple of them are fine, but I don't really think you just need to pile the stack. So, like, I would think about playing the grand market there and then probably getting double seer, but they continue to not ever want seers, which still doesn't make sense to me. It's old witch, old witch. Patron, patron, swashbuckler, swashbuckler. Might as well play the second patron. There's no reason not to play the second patron. There's no reason not to play these patron. Okay, so now Jake gets to either buy a province or capitalism for I don't really understand why. I guess he has a lot of terminal draw now. The swashbucklers are going to help him take the chest? I don't know. I'm not in love with either of their plays here. I want more seers, mostly. Um, yeah. Like here with 10, even here, even doing what he's been doing, I would go double seer. He goes swashbuckler patron. I really don't understand what the need for the extra patron is. Jake could get almost anything there. Gets a council room. Interesting. Now, unfortunately, here for Jake, um, well, first of all, Chris has taken the chest, and interesting. With capitalism, you could grand market into the gold from the chest. Um, anyway, Chris has stopped playing as young witches, which makes me think he shouldn't have two of them. But now Jake has six and should get a something. Jake is in real bad shape though, because he has all this junk in his deck. And yeah, I'm really just not a fan of the second young witches. So Jake is pivoting into getting council rooms, which is it's fine. He gets to trash a curse there. That helps. And the curses are out, and the grand markets are getting lower. The patrons are only at 3. It's time to start thinking about when do I need to buy fleet. Wow. This is kind of rough for Jake. Ideally, what he would want to get here is patron, but that does open the door to the game ending with him losing. He didn't get anything, which seems wrong to me. Like, at least Vagrant's got to be better than nothing, I think. Can reveal your patrons. Um, this is this could be Fleet Patron here for Chris. He takes a province. I would prefer Fleet Patron, I'm pretty sure. Um, you do need to worry about the game ending and you being on the wrong side of things. Now, if you're gonna play the old witch, you should play it first. Yeah. Um, Jake is actually kind of close. No, no, don't play the patrons. No, you want to play them as treasures. And like he could have drawn on with council room and swashbuck and bot, and then I don't understand why he resigned. Then it's a really weird. I'm so confused. Okay. Well, there's spices, there's flag, there's lamp and treasurer, but I don't think lamp and treasurer is actually that great. Um, there's silk merchant and cargo ship. So money will be very fast if someone goes for money. Not sure if you can do that. Silk merchant improve is a thing you can do. That looks pretty good. Flag is also reasonable. Cargo ship also maybe. There's a lot of good things that you might want to open here. I kind of think you ignore the. I'm pretty sure you do ignore the lamp thing. It just seems a bit slow. See if Chris gets a flag here. If he does, then Jake could come back with flag of his own, which would be interesting. Yeah, I think you should open Silk Merchant, probably Silk Merchant and either Improve or Cargo Ship. But flag isn't totally out of the question to me here because, especially in Chris's spot, Jake doesn't really want to get a flag here with his second four. He would much rather keep the coffers. So the upside of cargo ship is that I was going to say it makes you real likely to be able to hit 5-5, but I actually think improve is also pretty good at that. I think I would probably open Silk Merchant improve and either be improving my improve into a Silk Merchant, or really what I would hope to do is improve the Silk Merchant into spices and just be getting as many spices as I could really fast, getting up coffers up, and then maybe at some point you get a swashbuckler to try to take the chest, but probably not. Probably you you could also go for treasure and I don't know. It's all very tricky. It's all very tricky, but I definitely get cargo ship or improve here. Um, I guess I shouldn't say definitely. There's some argument to be made for silver. Okay, so this is probably really good for Jake. Chris does the same thing. Prove, and what fives does he want here? Let's see, how much money does he have in his next turn? He could get 6 and 5 here. So he could like spend a coffers, buy a gold, and then, or he could do this. Treasure is also good. And now take spices, yeah. Take spices. Take spices. And this should be very, very fast money. Wrong order. What does the order matter? It doesn't matter. Okay. I think this is spices for extremely fast money. And that's what it looks like. It looks like Jake is going for. Now he has an interesting choice between another Silk Merchant, which works really well with his improve, um, or another Spices. They end up giving him the same number of coffers, so it's really just a question of which you would rather have in your deck because yeah, I think I like the Silk Merchant because while I don't think Lamp is super important here, triggering it is nicer if um, if you can. But I think the bigger thing is just that you want to be able to improve the Silk Merchant again. And like a silk merchant emote is a little bit better than a silver, I think, at this point. So yeah, Jake has to do the same thing here. And now, gosh, he could even think about provincing already. I don't know what he's doing though, because this seems very sure for this already. Ooh, not so high on the swashbuckler or the secret cave. He's trying to pop his lamp, but I just don't care that much about popping my lamp. I want to just slam spices and get money and just province there. Not there, but province soon. I think that would have been a touch early. And you should definitely take the key here, I'm pretty sure, if you're Jake, and buy one more spices and then look to green the next turn. That's really what I'd be doing here. Chris, again, they've had like very, very similar draws the whole time. I think I would slam spices here. And really, again, look to be greening next shuffle. And I think the lamp thing is slow, is the big thing. Wow, they're mirroring each other. I think lamp any times is slow. Take the key. No, I really like taking the key. Although flag bearer is interesting. Flag bearer is certainly interesting. Um, yeah. Don't hate the flag bearer, but I still would have taken the key and probably spices over the flag bearer. Anyway, yeah, I really want to be provincing here starting on turn 7, and you should be able to just plow through getting province, and you're probably good till the end of the game. But I want the key. 3, 5. Yeah, he has 8 even if he takes the key. Um, takes the flag back. Okay. Take the key, Jake. Now let's see if he goes province or if he tries to take the flag back. Great. Good. So Chris can probably discard here, treasurer, take the key, play improve. He trashed a copper instead of taking the key. Not in love with that plan. Given where he's at now, I guess he needs to take his spices, but now I think Jake is ahead. Yeah, I don't like this. I think this is too cute from Chris, and I think that Jake should be able to just end the game fast enough. Fast enough. Okay, so he wants to improve something here. This is a generous undo. Yeah, improving. He could have bought a 5 and improved Cave into Silk Merchant, or. Okay, now. I think I discard here if I'm Jake. I play Improve, I play Treasurer, I take a copper out of the trash, I buy a province, I improve Cave into Silk Merchant. Or not into Silk Merchant, in fact, into Flag Bearer. Take a copper. Yeah, yeah. Use one, buy a province. Now improve the Cave into Flag Bearer, I think is the best way to improve. He improves the Improve into a Flag Bearer. I don't like that as much. He's getting low on terminal space again also. Part of why I didn't like the swashbuckler. Chris has now achieved the chest. Chat is saying that they don't like this provincing, but I do. Um, he just needs to be able to back it up right. I would definitely not double here. Chris doubles. Okay. Well, you gotta play swashbuckler, right? No, wait. Maybe you don't. You definitely don't play swashbuckler. You just play flag bearer and play your money. Yeah, this is no good. Play the flag bearer because all you want to do that turn is buy province anyway. Take spices, which is the most short-term money he can get, but okay, he plays flag bearer here. He has 6 money. He can province, but that's a little bit dangerous. Jake should. Well, okay, he definitely plays treasurer and takes probably the lamp. Okay, he should play a second treasurer, use his last thing. I think he just has to province here and just hope that Chris can't. He's thinking about taking a duchy, but I think that's a losing play given the state of their decks. Um, okay, so Jake's going for it. He doesn't do anything. He takes the province, and this should just lose probably. Chris has 8 money in hand just from the wishes into spices. So now that he's gained at least 2 more money in hand, this is a win. Wish for spices, wish for spices, and that's an easy win. Yeah, something was a little bit strange there. They're saying terrible province from Jake, but I think that wasn't a terrible province from Jake. Like, he's losing the long game. He has to take the risk, right? It's not like he's going to have a chance later on to do something better. If he goes duchy, then that turn Chris can go double duchy. And how is Jake better off? He's really not, um, because Chris is going to have a lot of plus buy ready, and he's going to have more points, and he's going to have a better economy and a better deck. So I think you have to play for the short game there. He was just in a bad spot. Here we have Seer Patron again. We have Border Guard Patron, Border Guard and Seer and Patron all go together fairly well. Militia is okay. Um, Hideout helps you trash down to get to be just these Seer Patron things. Um, and it gives you a village, which is probably nice enough. I don't know about capitalism or Citadel. They're helpful. They're probably not the most busted here. Probably go. I would think about going flag improve or something. Hideout is reasonable. You're going to want to get a patron soon enough so you can start getting to seer, but taking some border guards early is okay. Militia is also fine, probably. Jake should get a seer, I think. Well, he's definitely getting a border guard for his 2. I think seer is good enough. Ooh, I don't like militia there. Maybe it's fine, and I like maybe militia on the 3-4, but on 5-2, I think I'd take the seer. Anyway. This improve should just be punted into a flag bearer or a patron or something. Maybe a militia. He should maybe get a militia here, and he could then think about another hideout or a patron or a flag. I guess militia is good against flag, which makes you be less inclined to flag, but I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to step off for just a second, so enjoy the game in silence for a moment. I'm going to get some water. Okay, so somebody's gotten a second militia. Jake has gotten the flag. Chris is the first to get to seer. Nobody has any patrons yet. Jake bought capitalism, which makes sense given the militia and the flags. So I'm guessing he has the second militia. He has the flag. And yeah, I think patrons look pretty good here. The only, it's not even really extra gains, but the quasi extra gains that are around here are improve. I think Jake should just take, he takes another flag. He's just going to say, I'm just going to have the flag. Which is fine, I guess, but I think seer is maybe just better. Jake has the flag here, so he can take seer. Let's see if he does. He could also think about hideout or patron. It's probably a little bit early for patron. I guess he could take an improve, but I would take a seer. And he does. Now, Chris is going to get to... No, he doesn't have capitalism, so he can't play both improve and flag bearer. So this is a little bit unfortunate for him. Let's see if he improves into... He takes the flag back. Okay. Now, Jake having multiple militias is kind of good against the flag. There is still advantage from having the flag when you're getting militia at every turn. It's like the difference between a militia attack and the Margrave attack. You gotta see an extra card first, but yeah, now we get to see whether Jake is going to take another seer. He's going to try to take the flag back. At some point, an improve would make some sense. Now, the other thing, of course, to note is that well now, especially now that Chris has taken capitalism, he's been thinning coppers out of his deck. So if we look at what's in the trash here, he's thinned out 3 coppers from his deck. So that's not actually a ton, but it will make a difference over the long term. And let's see, Jake takes a gold, which seems a little bit strange to me. Now that you have capitalism, especially the Seers and the Border Guard, I would think that Patron is almost a better goal. I guess it's not, um, but it's not that much of a difference between Patron and Gold. And I want to have a lot of Seers because I want to be playing my Militia every turn. Let's see if he provinces here. Actually, you probably take Citadel. Yeah? Citadel? But as many cards as it would draw, I do like the Seer. Over the gold. I don't know if it's all that bad, but Province again, I think it's earlier than I would have wanted it, but I don't think it's the worst thing ever. Obviously, Jake goes to 6 money here, and I would get another Seer. He could think about getting a Flag Bearer. The problem is it's going to be hard for yeah, given this hand, it does look like the Citadel was probably looking better. With capitalism, the Citadel somewhat better. He takes the flag back. Okay. I mean, there is such a thing as getting Seer flooded, I guess. Seer, improve militia. So this one of these improves maybe turns into the flag to take it back, or into a flag bearer to take the flag back. And with 7, Chris gets another Seer, I would guess. So we're going to see something like Seer and actually maybe improve the hideout into another Seer. The hideout's done most of its work at this point. Yes, he still has some coppers left, but only 3, and I don't know. Maybe you keep it around a little bit longer, but the problem with that is like, what are your what are you improving stuff into? So I like that play from Chris. And Jake can try to take the flag back. He could get an improve to take the flag back later. He takes the flag back now. He hits 7 again. He's still way lower in Seers. I think Chris has a substantial advantage, but it's not necessarily over yet. Jake should he'll be able to, but he should definitely, I'm pretty sure, be taking Seer here. So you got a lot of Seers, and then again, they're being very critical of the province in the chat. I mean, I agree with them that I don't think the province was the best thing. I think Citadel was better, but I don't think it's like this horrendous, stupid play or anything. Like, it's not a good play, but it's not that bad of a play. The province is being a province, and this is a single game board. So, like again, I think probably Citadel there, although it's closer here than it was before. Also not sure about turning that flag bearer into a villain. It takes the flag back, which is a big plus, but like villain is not a card that your Seers can draw. And then at this point, province versus Citadel is even closer, I think, like where Jake just got the province. Still slightly inclined to Citadel there, although obviously taking province again is going to be more consistent. But I think it's the margin between the two at that point is pretty small. Um, I guess one villain is nice because the coffers are going to be nice as well. Jake gets to discard a province here, and now he's going to discard a copper. And now he gets to spend only one token. A lot depends on what this seer finds here for Jake. And that is not great. Improve. Improve is definitely a good pickup there for Jake. He can start doing some business with these flags if he ever finds them. The problem is it's, I think, a bit late because of the massive seer advantage that Chris has. At some point, you stop drawing seers to seed your next hand with a seer instead. Looks like that point is not at all coming here for Chris, who does in fact draw his deck here. This is a good play order. Jake should obviously discard the flag here. Flag bearer is not the flag. I should get better at talking about this stuff. I think you don't improve anything here. You need to keep your militia. You want to keep a flag bearer so that you can take the flag later or turn it into a duchy later. Um, yeah, the gold I think is a bigger issue. As Seer is basically a better card. Let's see if Jake takes Harem. He takes a flag bearer. Oh, I really don't like that. I think at that point I would have been kind of inclined to take a Harem just for the points, maybe a duchy for those points. Um, but anyway, Jake really doesn't have much choice, I don't think, except to province and then turn something into a duchy. Should be the flag bearer, of course. Actually, shouldn't be the flag bearer. I think. I think it would have been better. As wow, wow, Chris might actually not get there here. He doesn't make it, but he gets to get a duchy and a harem here. And he should definitely. Wow, he didn't. He should have definitely improved something into harem. Now Jake should happily take the tie. As it turns out, not taking the tie would have worked out very well for him, but he shouldn't know that. So, okay. Whatever, nobody knows the rules, it doesn't matter. Great. Here we open Silk Merchant and wow, again all of this powerful opening stuff. Um, you want to get Recruiter up fast. Flag bearer again. I don't understand when you want to take that versus not, but I think I open Silk Merchant Silver or Silk Merchant Cargo Ship. I'll Rickroll. I don't think it's that important. I mean, but whatever. It's not like there really is tournament integrity, but I mean, I am a big fan of integrity, so don't get me wrong about that. But um, like following the rules and structures of the tournament, it's not like it's a serious tournament. It's you're having fun, right? Right? I don't know. Okay. Market Square Ducat is cute. Again, Flag Bearer and Silk Merchant gets me all kinds of confused. Again, we have Seer Patron, which oh, Sewers also works with the Ducat, I guess. Or the Ducat. Bleh, Ducat. Improve Silk Merchant here again. There's just so many things that I've seen too many times now. Um, this is the third Seer Patron game and the third Silk Merchant Flag Bearer game, and multiple improve with these kinds of things games, and it's so much. It's so much stuff. I think you go Silk Merchant improve, but maybe you want to do sewers. I don't know. Uh, I'll put it this way: Silk Merchant improve is going to be the fastest to get off the ground, but it's possible that the extra trashing of the sewers is gonna be better in the long run. Well, improve seems like it's probably best either way. I guess the only reason why you wouldn't do that is if you were gonna go sewers, Ducat, trash a copper, and an estate. So you end up with a 9 card deck that's 6 coppers, a Ducat, and 2 estates, and then you can do the same thing a couple more times and trash your estates, so you end up with um, like 3 Ducats, 4 coppers, and no other stuff. Then you get an improve and start working your way up. But I think getting the improve earlier is probably better. The other nice thing about Ducat, along with it working with sewers, is that Seer can draw it. So that's a thing. Oh, again, there's this whole flag bearer versus silk merchant dynamic that I don't understand. Um, well, this smells like what you would do if you were buying Ducat and trashing a copper and an estate, which he could do here with a lackeys. Oh, or he could spend for an improve, I guess. Sure. I don't know that I'd be this keen on trashing to get a Ducat here. I think I would take a Seer. But Where are the improves? Especially if Jake has an improve in those bottom six cards, I'd take a seer here. I am just not this much of a fan of getting the... Now, if you could have gotten two Ducats, okay, Jake doesn't have an improve, so I would want to improve that by getting one. Um, okay. So now, if he plays two coppers here, he can buy two Ducats and trash two coppers and two estates, which is probably good enough to do. No, 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 no! No, Jake, no! Jake, no! Although, I think if I remember right, he doesn't have improve, right? Right? Like, yeah, he doesn't. He trashed. They're both in the trash. Yeah, they're both in the trash. Flag bearer. So, you definitely want to be taking more. Um, wow, that's really bad luck. I was gonna say you definitely want to be taking more improves. Okay, Jake should figure out what he wants to buy here. Obviously, he's going to play the Ducats. You might have wanted to play the Flag Bearer, but apparently he doesn't. I would get an improve, and I guess I'd probably take a Ducat, trash a copper, trash an estate. But I definitely take an improve. Guess you have to be a little bit concerned about. I don't understand market square and improve. Isn't he over terminalizing? That's not a word. Himself? If that were a word, which it isn't. So here is he going to play improve? Improve the improve. Play the Ducat. Play a copper. I don't understand. I'm trying to figure out if he can trigger this market square profitably, and I don't think he can. I think it seems too early. And he's short on villagers, and he's short on draw, and he's short on trashing, he's short on everything. Chris takes the flag. Well, this makes the decision a bit easier, because you definitely do want to improve this improve now to take the flag back. You're going to want to replace the improve by getting another improve. I guess, yeah, you just play that. Oh, no, you can trash the flag. This is great. No! What? No. Oh, wait, no, you have to do that in order to do both. Sorry, listeners. Yeah, no, this is definitely what you want to do. So you can improve flag bearer into seer here, and I think citadel. Yes. Spend another coffers. You need the village support. He goes for lackey seer. That's okay. Flag into seer seems for sure. Trashing estate also seems for sure. This is okay. I think this is the second best play he had, And I'm not even sure that it's not better than the Citadel play, but um, okay, Chris should probably just go improve flag and then maybe play another flag bearer, improving the flag into. You kind of still do need the lackeys if you have the Citadel, because you're not always going to have the Seer in your starting hand, and having a couple villagers is still nice. I guess you don't have to, but it's nice to do. Um, he should just play these coppers here and take a Citadel and turn his flag bearer into a Seer. And possibly also pick up a market square because I think he's thin enough for that. He could thin a copper if he only plays one of the coppers. Yeah, that might be better. Oh, he should at least play one of these. I am consistently dumbfounded by them never ever taking patron in any situation. Though this is not the turn that I would have taken it, so I don't know anything. Okay. Well, I think you play the Silk Merchant here. No, you play the Market Square. You can't. You can't afford to. He has so many terminals. Okay. Well, he definitely plays Improve, and I guess he doesn't play the lackeys. He should buy Citadel. He can trash a copper. I might just trash the lackeys, honestly. Okay, now this is not a fair comment. You don't know if that Seer would have been the Seer that would have gotten played twice. Why are they not getting Citadel? I don't understand. The Silk Merchant goes into a Seer, which is fine. It's fine. He doesn't really need Citadel, but it'd be nice. Okay, now this is a drawn deck from Chris. In fact, it's more than a drawn deck. Well, he should play Improve so that he can improve his lackeys at least, but perhaps not any more actions than that. I think I would just play one of these coppers, buy the Citadel, and improve the lackeys into probably a market square at this point for him, and trash a copper. Yeah, that's I think what I would want to do here is play a copper, spend a coppers, buy Citadel, improve lackeys into market square, and trash a copper from hand. Um, this is strange. Well, he's really going to be drawing this deck. You draw the Seer next. Okay, so he's not going to try to activate his market square again, which I think is actually quite reasonable. He has a copper on top. I would not spend a villager to try to switch that around. The only reason I would spend the villager here is if I want to improve the lackeys, which I might want to do. Okay. I look away for a minute and something's happened. And what is this? I don't understand. Is he gonna buy a Ducat here? Has he miscounted his money? I assume you don't want more lackeys. He gets a Ducat. He gets to trash a lackeys. He gets to improve lackeys into market square and improve. You start to really worry about the game ending here. Very close. I think this should go into a market square. He doesn't really have the terminal space for another um, improve, unless I am mistaken. Sorry for a moment. So it's around this time, I guess you should start looking for wins. There's 4 buys. He only has 2 improves, so that's not a win. Great. And if he's not winning, can Jake win? Jake has, again, only 4 buys, right? Because there's no Ducats in the trash, but both Silk Merchants are in the trash. Oh, Jake has 2 market squares. So Jake has 6 buys. And how many improves? If there's 2 improves in Chris's deck and 2 in the trash, Jake only has 1 improve. So he has 6 buys and a gain. So you have to keep that in mind when you are looking at buying things here as Chris. Jake has a potential gainage of well, he has 2 market squares, that gives him to 3 buys. He has 6 buys and then 1 improve. So okay, not hugely in love with this, but it's fine. Now, the problem is, what is he improving actually? He improves his improve. Into another patron? Yeah. And you just leave the second one, right? I probably would have played a lackeys as him just to turn it into a market square. The market square, maybe you can gain a gold, but it's mostly there for pile control. This is okay, actually fine for Jake. And the cop card of his deck is a copper, so now he should sit and think. He will probably play the Seer, I guess. And now he can play all the patrons, and he can play the improve. He can play the market square if he needs another buy, which he doesn't, because he's not ending the game. It takes 7 buys, gains. Wait, maybe he can end the game. But he can end the game. Does he have the money to? Well, anyway, he has the gains to end the game, but not on a win. It would be on a loss, right? He has, if he plays the market square, he'd have 7 buys. So he should play his improve here, and well, he's also running out of things to trash with his improve. So that's something to think about. He should probably just double province and improve the market square into a patron and get a gold. And probably shouldn't have played all of the copper so that he could trash one more. Either that or he's not going to improve anything and he's just going to double province. He gets a citadel and a province and a patron. Could take the flag, I guess. Doesn't seem quite right. Silk Merchant, maybe. Silk Merchant isn't crazy, I guess. I always find it weird when someone spends this many coin tokens and then thinks after they've bought some stuff. Like, shouldn't he have figured this out before? Okay, I'm not a big fan of this play. He is a bit over terminal now. He has the Silk Merchant. That helps a little bit. But Jake now gets the village effect from this. Oh, so he's not over terminal because he got the Citadel. Yeah, this is fine. This is fine. So you got to play the lackeys there. You can sear now up the rest of it, and you can patron, and he'll probably going to play the flag and the improve. He has 4 buys and a gain, which is enough to empty 5 things, but it's still 7 from game end, so he's really not there. The reason I want flag and improve is so that you can improve the flag bearer and take the flag back. The money is also fine and very usable. 12. And then he can double province here or something like that. Province Citadel, probably still better. I think Jake is in a good spot at this point, though. Okay, yep, this is what I would expect. And let's see how many coffers he uses. I'm going to guess it's going to be 4. 6 wouldn't stun me. Yeah. So this is going to be province, province, and lackeys. Yeah. Now he's going to improve his flag bearer into a duchy or a forum. Duchy, okay. Yep. Now let's see what Jay can do here. I don't know that Chris can... How many coffers did he gain last turn? I'm not sure if he can double again, is what I'm trying to say. Because he lost the flag bearer, which was 2 money, and he has 3 patrons, 4 patrons, so that's 8 money, plus improve is 10, plus whatever coffers he can generate. So he needs to be able to generate 5 coffers. He gets 3 from his Ducat, so he definitely can double, but he needs to draw reasonably in order to be able to. Can Jake play around doubling from Chris? Probably. You just got to lead on Seer here, right? I guess he really could be thinking about leading on Patron. It gives him more money. And it's equivalent actions wise. It's a little worse draw wise, so he's just got to think how likely is he to be able to draw the deck leading on Patron versus leading on Seer. I don't really know the answer to that question, but he determines that this is the better play, and he duds out. But this is actually not that bad. So if he spends 8 coffers here, can go province double duchy and be in a good spot if he spends 6 coffers. No, I don't think that's crazy. I don't think that's crazy at all. Um, if you citadel the seer, you are losing out on the opportunity for some money. Citadeling the patron gives you 2 more money, and if you're going to draw your deck anyway, it's just a question of how likely you are to draw your deck anyway. And I don't know what that answer is, but oh my gosh, he's not going to double province, is he? That seems like a very bad play. Okay, he's not, but I'm not the hugest fan of this smattering of things either. Anyway, he's definitely going to double his seer here. I actually think it was somewhat unlikely for him. Well, it was unlucky for him to draw that little, although perhaps not unlucky for him to not draw at all. Improve is another duchy. I guess improve is kind of another duchy. Chris has to play the lackeys here, right? Is he doubling? Okay. So, see what Jake can do. I'm not sure what they're on about exactly. You should have. This is a bad play order. You got to play this Market Square before. You got to play this Silk Merchant now. You got to draw more cards, right? He has plenty of actions if he. Yeah, okay. Now you got to play the Seer. And you play the Seer and draw the copper. Or you do it this way. Now, if he plays all of this stuff, I have to do some counting. He has only 1 improve. So this is the improve is a duchy, so he can gain 1 duchy off of the improve, and then he has 28 money, so he can get 4 more duchies from buying them. So that's 5 duchies, which is 15 points plus a province, and that wins. Cool. Take the crown. Yeah, I'm not really sure that Chris had a better thing that he could have done, though. Oh, he could have. Did he end the game with enough coffers? That he could have bought another duchy on his last turn? In that case, he could have done that. And in that case, then Jake would have needed to have citadeled more money and still been able to draw everything. Okay, we got Star Chart, we have more Flag Bearer, we have more Cargo Ship, we have Spices for speed, we have more Seer, we have Recruiter to just move you right along. Star Chart, kind of not really a combo with Swashbuckler. I think you go Cargo Ship, Silver? There's something to be said for Flag Bearer, but I want to get to Recruiter ASAP. I'm going to disagree on Inventor being the best card in Renaissance. I think Recruiter is the best card in Renaissance. Although many projects are better than either, I think. Maybe not many, but some. If Jake opens the flag, then he will hit 5. He gets a Recruiter. That's interesting. I still have to work out. I'm not still totally understanding how flag bearer strategies end up working in practice. Cargo ship, and Jake also goes for cargo ship. And now you could go star chart. It's kind of risky. Works out well for Jake and not for Chris. Inventor, which he gets to stick into this hand, which is quite reasonable. Jake gets to smash his recruiter and trigger that shuffle, which is not really a great reshuffle for Jake to trigger, but it's fine, I guess. He knows that he's drawing an estate here, and he's going to draw the copper as well, so he's going to get a 4 cost. Not sure which 4 cost is the best. Probably Inventor, given that he has the recruiter for actions already. Could be Flag Bearer. That's not crazy. He takes Hideout. Now Chris gets the first shot at a second 5, and Seer works pretty well with Inventor, does it not? So given what he has, I think I would take a Seer. Spices is also not crazy. I guess you have to think a little bit about how much money he has left here. In his remaining cards, he has a Hideout, an Inventor, 2 coppers. And what are the other 3 cards? A cargo ship. What are the other 2 cards? Oh, 2 estates. Yeah, okay. So here he's going to draw either estate or hopefully for him Inventor. And by he, I'm talking about Chris here. Jake gets his chance to take a 5. Seer into the next hand is not that great here. So I'd be more inclined to either take Spices or Inventor or Flag. Flag Bearer lets you trigger the shuffle, so that's something. You get your recruiter back. Another hideout. I mean, he's going to get his recruiter back anyway because of this hideout here, so the Flag Bearer looks a little bit less thrilling from that point of view. They will really start need to be getting inventors here quickly, particularly from Jake's end. Obviously, Chris already has one. Trashing the copper seemed like the best thing to do. I agree there. You cargo ship, you inventor something, and then you get another. So you get basically 2 4s this turn. Okay. Okay, and he's going to stick that inventor back on top, I assume. I think you put Seer on top here. You could still look at Recruiter. Not really sure between those. Which is better? Well, he drew both anyway. Okay, so you Recruiter first. No, you don't. You Hideout first. Then you Recruiter. Then you do this. Jake is desperate need of getting inventors, but he is much thinner. So I think Jake is fine. Of course, Chris also has the recruiter, which is nice for him. He has the flag, which is nice for him. It's pretty close. I think he can still inventor here, and then buy Seer. Okay. You stick sear on top. I think it's now time for spices, but not before that. Could be time for spices. I don't know. The thing about spices is you have to work about, like, is the buy better or do you just gain stuff? So Jake should be taking Inventor Seer here, I believe. Flag actually makes some sense, but he is starting to look behind, even though he's well thinned. Um, he can get away with fewer seers because he's thinned. Um, he gets to cargo ship whatever he buys here. So I'd be thinking about spices, seer, or inventor. Seer is going to make him basically draw his deck immediately. You should stick the recruiter on top. So he is drawing his deck, and he's in fact overdrawing. So he should be able to invent an inventor here. And cascade up. The problem is Chris isn't really much behind on that. So it's actually quite a close game. Huh. Okay. Well, you spend a villager here, surely. So that you can play your inventor. And I agree with them in the chat. It seems a little bit weird to not take. I guess the village effect is kind of nice for Jake. He has like way enough villagers now, and Chris is kind of on the edge. But Chris is going to be in some kind of village trouble. So he's going to need to recruit or something expensive. But he can just recruit her a flag bearer and he'll be fine, I think. It's not quite that simple. Trashes the hideout. I'm not sure about that. Think I would have just still trashed more coppers. But it's fine, I guess. Just keep sticking seer on top. I disagree. Jake seems trashed plenty. Um, I just would have trashed the copper there because you don't need the copper, and the hideout, like trashing a little more helps. Maybe it means not trashed enough to trash the hideout, in which case, sure. Yeah. So this is slightly the recruiter inventor anti-synergy is slightly weird. He gets to invent a couple more things here, but they're criticizing order there, but I don't know that that's that valid of a criticism because, uh, like, you need to. Okay, so Chris gets 2 provinces. Um, Inventor first is smart here. He has enough villagers, and it lets his seers draw more seers. I guess he doesn't have more seers, so it's maybe not the smartest thing ever. Go ahead and trash Flag Bearer here. And Jake is nearly trashed enough. He doesn't have enough seers, though. That's his problem, is you want to do gain and play, you're going to need the seers anyway. But he has to take a seer here, I'm pretty sure. Okay, well, Jake is getting spices, which is... This is a little bit of a weird order. Okay, 8. Playing the Flag Bearer there just cost him a villager for absolutely no reason. So let's note that down. And he only has... Does he not realize he only has one buy? Please undo more. He must not realize that he only has one buy. Boy, he's really dead. If somehow Chris half goes off this turn, then Jake might be okay. I assume that this comment in the chat is because he could invent before playing these seers, so that the seers would invent a seer. Okay, so what? No, you don't play the village then. You play an inventor first. And doesn't he have another spices he could have drawn? Yeah, okay. And so then this is 3 more provinces. So he probably could have just won, but this should also win. In fact, it's half the VP. It's just a guaranteed win. Even if Jake takes all of the rest of the points in the supply, it's not enough, right? Because that's 8 times 3 is 24. And 6 more is 30, and then 8 would be 38. So if Jake takes all the rest of the points here, which he can't even do, then that would be curse, curse, curse. That would be, yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching, everyone. Sorry this wasn't my best commentary effort, but hopefully, oh, this game is not over? This game is effectively over. Invent something, then play seer. Invent something. You can invent spices and buy province. Great! Hooray! Our long national nightmare is over. This game is actually over. Woo! Okay, great. Anyway, thanks everybody for watching, and join me again next time.